Hey everybody, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I have a case of primnesia. I ordered a whole bunch of tools and goodies for future projects and threw them all in one box when I got them and promptly forgot about them. So let's go through them together and I'll talk about the different stuff and what I was planning on using it for. So first off, votive candles. Silly, I know. I started making vases the other day to learn my skills in Fusion 360. I was like, hey, I should build a candle holder. And then I was like, wait, I can't use a real candle because it'll melt. So, cue tall votive candles. Future project coming up. Stay tuned. I'm gonna get to it one of these days. Let's see, what's in here next? Let's save this guy for later. Big Prime spring sale. Coffee colored PETG would look nice with a votive candle inside of it. What else we got here? Olive green PETG would also look nice with a votive inside of it. TPU. I have never printed with TPU filament before, so this will be an adventure for me. I've got a bamboo P1S with an AMS, so this is the stiffer TPU. I think it's called 98 something or other. There's like, it's like P98 or T98. I don't remember. I'll put it in here because I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's the harder TPU. So we'll see what happens here. This is stupid, but what I really wanted to use this for is the cup holder in my truck is missing its rubber inserts, and cups rattle in the cup holder and it annoys the crap out of me. So we got that. What else? More filament. A 2-pack of black PETG. I go through a lot of that. Ooh, this one's interesting. So I was at a business networking meeting the other day, and one of the guys had a really cool potential project. He did a whiskey and chocolate pairings, and I thought that was really cool. And he wanted like a flight tray, and I've got a couple ideas to make him one, but I didn't have any glasses. So I ordered some glasses. That project will come out here very soon. I needed to get the size of the bases of the glasses so I can make a flight board. So stay tuned for that. A lot of these things are related to this guy right here. So what is it? This is a heat press machine for pressing threaded inserts into 3D prints. So this is the heavier duty one that has like taller capacity, because sometimes I build taller things, and that has a bunch of associated things with it in here. These are metric fasteners. I don't remember which ones these are. These are the cap screws. So they're Allen headed cap screws. And then I bought some more. They're also Allen head, but they're the other kind of screw with the square head on the top. I don't remember what they're called. I'll put it right here. And then what I need those for is this machine basically has a soldering iron in it and a die. And the die goes into these, they're called heat set threaded inserts. So what it does is the soldering iron heats them up and they get real hot, and then you smash it down into the 3D print and then they stick. So this is one of the threaded inserts. And I have no idea if it'll focus on that or not. Probably not. I'll put up a picture. But it's knurled on the outside and threaded on the inside. And mostly they're metric because most of these come from China. Actually, well, these ones were distributed from Germany. I don't know where they were made, but they are metric. Actually, these ones are 832. I ordered these ones specific, but all of the packs are metric. So more to come there soon. I used the 832s on the microphone stands, so I'll be hopefully using a lot of those. So that's the threaded inserts, my first project for them. This one, I do remember what this one was because I printed it like a month ago and then I never had the threaded insert machine, so I couldn't finish it. But this is, if I could remember the name of it. It is a rack wireless whiz block. So I ordered the chip that comes with a Bluetooth antenna. A Bluetooth antenna and a 900 megahertz antenna. And what this is for called Meshtastic. I can put links to it down below, but it's like a free, oh, what do you call it? It's a free public radio system that works on like 915 megahertz, but it has an app on your phone. Your phone connects to this, and then you can text message other people that also have these units without a cell signal. So it's really cool service. It's free. It communicates over the airwaves, so it's kind of like ham radio, but you don't need a license. And they're supposed to be able to go up to a couple miles if you have a good antenna and a clear line of sight. So that's really cool. So I bought the whiz block and I bought a battery, and it came with a little antenna mount, and then I printed out this nifty case that I found online, but it requires threaded inserts and I didn't have any cue my Primenesia order. But these two halves fit together really cool like, and you can do cool nerdy things with it. So I'm excited about that. That should be really cool. Has a cute little antenna. I've got a bigger one I might put on it. So that's really cool. I'm really excited about that project because I've been playing with Meshtastic with a buddy, and that's a pretty cool service. Actually, this one I'm probably gonna like semi-permanently mount in my truck. And then I've got two portable ones that I will keep like in my backpack or whatever. And then I can use the truck as a base station for that. Anyways, tangent, but that's really cool. And the last thing in the box, sheets of PET, very similar to PETG, which is what the filament is made out of. But the G stands for glycol, I believe, and this is only PET. I don't know the scientific differences on it, but why did I buy 10 sheets of PET plastic? Because I recently made a cool project that is not done yet, but this was another networking thing. So I had somebody at my networking group ask me about chocolate dyes, and I can't 3D print those. While PETG is technically food safe, in 3D printed form, it has layer lines. So if you go like this on a 3D print, you can hear the different layers. So it's technically not food safe. So I did a bunch of research, and you can thermoform or vacuum form molds for chocolates. But I didn't have a vacuum former and I wasn't gonna pay for one. So I got on Fusion 360 and made my own. It's got a box with a vacuum attachment that I hooked to my Ryobi cordless vacuum, and a grate. Put this on here. And then I made this frame that you sandwich the PET in there. You heat gun it. Drop it on top with the vacuum gun. Sorry. Over the whatever you want to mold against. These were my very first prototypes, so don't judge too much. But you do it over the prototype, and it sucks the plastic down onto the prototype. I was watching an Adam Savage video the other day about this, and he said to dust cornstarch on it before you do it so it sucks in tighter, and I forgot to do that. So these aren't perfect. But I vacuum formed this over that. So in theory, you would be able to put this like this and then pour chocolate in them, scrape it off, and then when it cooled, you could pop them out. So I did a couple different tests. Most of them are not worthy. Actually, all of them are not worthy for chocolates yet, but I'm gonna try the cornstarch trick and possibly more heat, and we'll see how that goes. So anyways, that is the conclusion of my Primnesia order. That was a lot of stuff. I got more projects than I have time, but I'm gonna get to it one of these days, so stay tuned. I'll be back.